In this video, I'm reading you guys the worst to best weapon in Shindo Life. So this was a really difficult video to make, so if you guys could go below, hit that like button to show your support for the channel, that'll mean a lot to me. I've spent hours doing this. I'm going to be doing the same thing I did for the Bloodline mode, so everything that is bad or a gimmick weapon, so it's only going to do one thing, those are going to be ranked in their own tiers. They're not going to be ranked by number, just so I can go through them very quickly to get to the weapons that actually matter in the game. It is really early in the morning, I'm very tired, so let's get right to the video, guys. Alright, so we're going to start off with the bad weapons, and then we're going to go to the trick weapons. I'm going to fly through these just because they're bad. There's nothing really to say about them. Nido Tanto does barely any damage. There's not really any point in ever using this. Nimbus Chi Blade, it's like a stun ability that does no damage and has barely any stun attached to it. Shizen Raijun is basically just a much worse Satori Blade, so just go use Satori Blade. Umpire Guitar was butchered so hard. This used to be my favorite weapon in the game, and now it is absolutely terrible. Crispus Shizen is literally just Shizen's second ability, but significantly worse. Stone Buster, it doesn't really do that much damage. It has a small stun attached to it, but that small stun is literally going to do you nothing considering it has so much startup. Nimbus Sword is kind of like Obelisk Chi Blade, but it's a little bit better, but they're still both bad. And speaking of Obelisk Chi Blade, that is also going to be here because it is very bad. It doesn't really do that much damage and the stun is bad. Hamax is going to be in bad simply because Hamax doesn't really do that much damage and it's super close range. Air Style Fan, even though it has really low cooldown, it doesn't really do much. Dual Electro was significant. It's so hard to hit in an actual fight that you're better off just not using this weapon at all. Shindo Blade, you know, there's not really anything special about it. It just kind of has an attack. All right, so for the trick weapons, each of them actually do something special, but they can only be used in special scenarios. So I'm gonna rank them above bad, even though they're still bad weapons. Samurai Tanto's going in trick just because it has a lot of damage. So if you have a stun that you do before it, it actually can do a lot of damage. Bomb Blade, you have to walk backwards while using it, which makes it kind of really hard to use, and half the time the damage will literally do nothing. Triple Cobalt Blade, it knocks them super far away. I mean, you could use it to charge your chi or charge your health, but that's about it. Candy Cane is literally just triple Cobalt Blade, but skinned. Senko Kunai actually teleports you to them, but there's a lot better teleport weapons, but you can use this for M1 combo extending, so that's why it's going to be in trick weapons. Grass Tanto could do a lot of damage if you actually have a stun before you do it. Dual Bladed Scythe has a very, it's very weird weapon. It used to be a lot better, but right now it's kind of just a weapon where you have to have them in the air at a certain amount and use the weapon. Aphiroma Blade does a decent amount of damage, but it's kind of hard to hit in an actual fight. Riser Dawn's the same exact way as Alfirama Blade, but it's closer range. Shindai Umpire Fan, a Forge Umpire Fan are lumped into the same thing because Shindai Umpire Fan just does more damage than Forge. They both need a place lock stun to actually do anything, otherwise they'll literally do nothing. Sun Staff is going to be going into trick weapon because it's literally just a Tin Tails weapon spec. If you want to use Sun Staff, literally just go use Tin Tails. What are you doing, man? Moon Staff is going to go in trick weapons because if it hits, it does a lot of damage, but 99% of the time you're not going to hit this crap, man. Kakatsu Blade and Dagai Sword are both going to be going in trick weapons because they are M1 combo extenders, and that's very specific. Katana and Dagai are going to be going in trick weapons simply because the Katana and Dagai have super low cooldown, so you could spam them and they can actually be used to extend combos. Bubble Flute's going to be going in trick weapons just because it's kind of hard to hit the actual stun, but if you hit the stun, it is a place lock stun on a weapon, which is obviously a really good thing. Dual Triple Claws, it's kind of just an M1 combo extender, which is why it's going to go in trick weapons. Sound Flute's kind of in the same boat as Bubble Flute, but it doesn't actually have a place lock stun, so it's actually worse than Bubble Flute. Coming in 31st place is going to be the Dune Chi Blade. It's going to be coming in last place on the number ranking because if you actually hit it, it actually is a very good stun, but the chance of you hitting it is very low because it's very small. Coming in 30th place is going to be Apollo Blade. Now this would actually rank higher because it actually is quite a good ability. It's good for baiting auto dodges from people, but when you use this ability, it has a 30-second cooldown, and you really do not want a 30-second cooldown on your weapon spec. Coming in 29th place is going to be Demon Scythe. This is only because they buffed it. If they didn't buff it, it definitely would be in bad. Right now, it actually leads into an air combo, which is actually really good. The only issue with it is that the chance of you hitting it is very low in most cases. Coming in 20th place is going to be Zimdul Senko. The iframe is literally the size of a walnut. The iframe is such a tiny amount. It's so insignificant. It's a very bad weapon. Coming to 27th place is going to be Shiver Tanto. It's going to be for the same reason as Zimdul Senko. Both of them, their iframes are absolutely tiny, but Shiver Tanto has such a longer iframe than Zimdul Senko, which is why it's going to rank higher on the list. Coming in 26th place is going to be Heaven Blade. This actually is one of my personal favorite weapons. If you hit this ability, it actually drains a ton of chi, but you have to be close range to them for you to actually hit the weapon, but it is very rewarding when you do because all of their chi will be gone after you hit it. Coming in 25th place is going to be Shark Sword. It's kind of the same same exact thing as Heaven Blade, but you actually get chi back, which does make it better. But I do prefer Heavenly Blade. Coming in 24th place is going to be Dual Chi Rod. It actually is a ranged place lock stun on the weapon spec. I don't really need to explain why that is so good. That's a really good ability to have, especially for combos. Coming in 23rd place is going to be Haze Chi Blade. A lot of people have actually forgot about this weapon entirely. It is a ranged ability. It does like 40k damage, and it is a stun ability, and the stun is actually very long. Not to mention, it is also an iframe. I don't know why people forgot about this, but this weapon still exists in the game. 22nd place is going to be Pika Blade. It's good for getting around, but you can't really combo extend with it because it knocks them away. 21st place is going to be kind of the same thing as Pika Blade. Just because Pika Blade knocks them away, Bankai Blade doesn't knock them away, but it has too much end lag to actually combo with. Coming in 20th place is going to be Satori Blade. This is actually a lot of people's favorite weapon. I don't know why. I see a ton of people using this weapon in competitive, in PvP, RPG, or whatever. I think it's because the range is massive on it. It's very easy to hit, but you know, they could jump out of it, but it overall is a really good weapon, which is why it's going to rank at 20th. Coming in 19th place is going to be Ember Chi Blade. Now, the stun time on this was actually majorly reduced, but it is still a good combo weapon. You just can't use abilities with very many hand signs. Coming in 18th place is going to be Saburo Tanto. It's going to be the same exact reason as Ember Chi Blade, but the stun is longer, but it takes longer to actually stun them. Coming in 17th place is going to be Ryuji Nunchuck. Ryuji Nunchuck is actually kind of just like Acrobat style, but worse in every way possible. It doesn't stun them, doesn't do as much damage, and it takes more stamina if I'm not mistaken. So it's just a worse Acrobat style, but it turns out a worse Acrobat style is actually pretty good. Coming in 16th place is going to be Thread Blade. Now, the reason why it's going to rank this high on this list is because they fixed everything bad about it pretty much. You can attack during it now, so you can combo, and they can't dash into you when you use Thread Blade. So, and I expect to use this a lot more, especially after making this ranking. Coming in 15th place is going to be Riser Kuma Blade. This is actually one of my personal favorite weapons. It is a Genjutsu stun that is like an iframe at the same time. So you dash forward, you can Genjutsu stun, and you cannot take damage while actually doing the dash. Now, the reason why it is an M1 combo extender weapon, but you can use it for actual combos, which is why it's going to rank this high on the list. Coming in 14th place is going to be Shizen Shield. It is an iframe ability. It is on the iframe cooldown, but if you use it before your iframes, it is on the cooldown. But if you use your iframes before this, it isn't on the cooldown. It's a weird script. It doesn't work right, but the weapon turns out to be actually pretty good. Coming in 13th place is going to be Shinai Umpire Fan. It's going to be the same thing as Shizen Shield, but I actually feel like it's better because can charge chi during it, and when you launch a tornado, it chases them around for like 10 minutes, so you have a lot of time to actually do stuff while using this. Coming in 12th place is going to be Electro Blade. I'm sure some of you guys have seen this in combos. This blade does so much damage, just like 70,000 damage in a combo unmoded. That is absolutely ridiculous, combined with the fact it is a stun ability that stuns you for like 2 seconds. It is quite literally one of the best combo weapons in the game, and I really do expect to see it a lot more after this ranking. Coming in 11th place is going to be Two-Bladed Scythe. Now, this actually is a block breaker if you do not have stronger block. Otherwise, it is actually a ragdoll. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Have you remembered to hit that like button on the video yet? If you haven't already, go ahead and do it. Now, coming in 10th place is going to be Chi Kunai. It actually is better than Two-Bladed Scythe because it actually permanently goes behind them, even if they're blocking. So it automatically bypasses them, even if they have stronger block, which makes it significantly better. But it is kind of the same weapon. It's kind of used for starting combos, and overall, it's actually a really, really good weapon. Coming in 9th place is going to be Firebolt Broomstick, the Witch Broomstick. Now, this ability is going to rank this high on the list because it is very good for getting away. And there is a glitch you can use to charge chi while you're using it, but that's not why it's going to rank this high. It's good. It does a lot of damage. You can use it to bypass block, and it's good for running away. Coming in 8th place is going to be Acrobat Style. This is one of the single best combo weapons in the game just because of the stun time on it. Allows your cooldown to get back up, but it is a very easy to auto dodge weapon, obviously, because the stun time, as I said before, takes a long time. Now, coming in 7th place is going to be Dio Senko Blade. Now, there's some people going like, Dio Senko Blade is the best weapon in the game. Now, you're either just a Senko fan or you're just kind of deluded because, you know, it does have a stun. It's easy to hit. It's good for combos, but it's not nearly as good as the weapons I'm going to say later in this video. So, it is in the top 10, but there's no way that Dio Senko is the best weapon. Now, coming in 6th place is going to be Slayer Blade. This is mainly an M1 combo extender weapon, but you cannot auto dodge it. So you can't auto dodge this weapon. You have to have a breakaway. It's actually used for infinite combos you cannot auto dodge whatsoever. So if you do not have a breakaway, you instantly lose. Yeah, it sounds fun, right? Coming in 5th place is going to be Savage Blade. It's literally just the exact same thing as number 6, but more because it has iframes while you're using it. Coming in 4th place is going to be Ryan Blade. Now, it's going to be the same thing as number 5 and number 6, but the reason why it's going to rank higher than them because not only is it easier to use in general, but the cooldown is actually lower. So it's a lower cooldown, which makes it so it actually is better for M1 combos. It is absolutely ridiculous. It is one of the best weapons in the game, and I'm sure you guys have seen it by now. Coming in third place, this one is actually going to surprise you guys. It is Firework Katana. Now, this is going to be coming in third place because the cooldown on it is 8. Now, I do expect this to get nerfed, especially after this ranking video. It is gaining popularity. This weapon has an 8-second cooldown. 8-second cooldown that could be used for escaping combos, escaping situations, or even setting up combos because it does knock them into the air. So you can bypass block that way and things like that. So they can use it, jump around, you know, like jump around, man. They'll land on you, do the damage. They'll run away with iframes, use the weapon again on you, and just repeat over and over again until you're dead. It's really annoying, and the weapon's really good. Coming in second place is going to be, of course, Riken Blade. After the buff, Riken Blade definitely benefited the most from the buffs. The place lock stun lasts like 10 million years. It's extremely easy to hit. It doesn't put any stun on global cooldown, and it's a weapon. It has everything you would possibly want in a weapon. That is absolutely insane. Not to mention, it actually does a decent amount of damage too, which is absolutely crazy considering what it does. You know, I do love this weapon, but I got to acknowledge that it is one of the best in the game right now, and it's a little bit too good right now. By the way, guys, what is your favorite weapon in Shindo Life? Feel free to tell me in the comments below. I will be reading the comments. And coming in first place, as you guys probably expected, is going to be Mr. or Mrs. Ash Bone Staff. Now, this weapon, absolutely ridiculous. I'll just start listing off everything it has. I have to list it off. That's how many stuff it has. Okay, you ready? It does a lot of damage. It has a decently low cooldown. It's a block break, it auto tracks, and it ragdolls you. Yes, you heard that correctly. It literally does every single thing in the game in one move. Not to mention that it is also really hard to hit them because they kind of like float in the air for a second. So, you know, that's great. You know, who doesn't love a high damage, block breaking, auto tracking, ragdoll weapon? Did I mention it was a weapon, by the way? Anyways, guys, that's actually it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, most guys. Bye-bye.